Okay, 14 days have passed and we're moving on to step 2. So step 2 is pretty simple. Basically, we're going to check our specific gravity, make sure it's within range. We're going to move the wine into the carboy, add some things and agitate it, add another thing, and then wait till tomorrow. Okay, this is probably hard to see on the video, we're trying, but based on those little thin lines, we are at exactly 0.9, where are we at? 996. So we are okay to proceed to the next step. I've always been curious about what the alcohol content of our wine would be. So I go to Brewer's Friend and they have an alcohol by volume ABV calculator. And if you look at our original gravity reading of 1.090 and our final gravity reading of 0.996, it tells us that our wine is going to be 12.34% alcohol by volume. So here's a pro tip for how to sanitize your siphon. As part of the sanitization process for the carboy, we've got some of our solution in there filled with the whey single step, and instead of dumping it out, we're going to actually use the siphon, which should sanitize the inside of the siphon. Okay, now we've got everything sanitized. We're going to essentially siphon all the wine from there and put it in the clean carboy. So these siphons are pretty easy. It usually only takes a couple shots. Just doing that started the process. So I usually kind of monitor this because I worry about little fittings like that coming apart or somehow it popping out of there, but it doesn't take very long. And we're going to take all the goodness from there and put it in there. As it gets near the bottom, I like to tip the container a little bit so we're getting the most out of there we can. You can see all that sludge that we're leaving behind, but that's pretty much what you do. And if you're following along with the steps, we're now going to take our potassium sorbate and add it directly into the top there. Okay, we added the sorbate. Now we're going to degas the wine. This thing looks a little crazy, but basically, when we were fermenting the wine in here, it gets carbonated. And as a Pinot, we don't really want it to have bubbles. So we insert this into the carboy, and we're going to run the drill alternating directions every 30 seconds for 4 or 5 minutes to agitate the wine, which gets rid of the gassiness. So it's not very exciting, but don't be nice to it. You don't want it to bubble out the top. You need to get it pretty good and agitated. And we'll go one direction for 30 seconds. And then we shift the drill the other way. And go the other way for 30 seconds. And I do that for about 5 minutes total. All right, our last step is to stir this guy in. What I usually do is I just leave the drill and the agitator in there, and I pour this in and use the agitator to stir it in, because this way I don't have to sanitize anything else. All right, well, that's it. We attach an airlock to the top again, and we dropped it back in the converted kegerator to keep it at 72 degrees. I taped the temperature probe directly to the carboy, so I'm getting an accurate temperature. And we come back tomorrow.